4.5 billion years ago, this planet looked like hell. Volcanic eruptions, meteor showers, a toxic atmosphere. The most unsuitable place for life. But then a miracle happened. In the depths of the oceans, something came alive. A single cell. Just one cell. But that cell became the ancestor of the 8.7 million species on this planet today. Of dinosaurs, blue whales, eagles, and you. This is the story of the evolution of life. 4 billion years, 30 minutes. Are you ready? The first oceans, 4.0 billion years ago. The Earth slowly cooled. Meteor bombardments decreased, and water filled the oceans. But these oceans were nothing like today's. Acidic, toxic, devoid of oxygen, impossible for life, right? The first miracle, 3.8 billion years ago. At the bottom of the oceans, near hydrothermal vents, chemical reactions began, organic molecules formed, RNA chains, and then the first cell. Luca, last universal common ancestor, the ancestor of all life, your ancestor too. The age of prokaryotes. These primitive cells multiplied. Simple, small, but they managed to survive. Millions of years passed, and then a revolution happened. Some bacteria learned to perform photosynthesis. Cyanobacteria arrive 2.4 billion years ago. Cyanobacteria use sunlight to produce energy, and they released a byproduct, oxygen. At first, there was no problem. The oceans absorbed the oxygen. But then, the iron in the oceans was used up, and oxygen began to leak into the atmosphere. The Great Oxygen Catastrophe. For life at the time, oxygen was poison. The way cyanide is poison to us today, oxygen was poison to them. Mass extinction. More than 90% died. But the survivors adapted. They learned to use oxygen, and that changed everything. Because with oxygen, far more energy could be produced. Evolution accelerated. Complex life became possible. The endosymbiotic theory, 2 billion years ago. And then, one of the most important moments in the history of evolution occurred. One cell engulfed another cell, but it could not digest it. The engulfed cell continued to live inside, and the two formed a symbiosis. This gave rise to the mitochondrion, the cell's power plant. The eukaryotic cell was born. Complex life was now possible. Plants, animals, fungi, all are eukaryotes. All are the children of this cooperation. The first multicellular life, 1 billion years ago. Until 600 million years ago, all life was single-celled. But then something changed. Cells began to cooperate. They formed colonies. And some cells specialized. Some gathered food. Some moved. Some reproduced. The first multicellular organisms were born. The Ediacaran fauna, 635 to 541 million years ago. Strange, flat, soft-bodied creatures. Not clearly animals or plants, but they were the harbingers of the coming explosion. The Cambrian Explosion, 541 million years ago. And then, an explosion. Within 10 to 20 million years, a blink of an eye by evolutionary standards, most modern animal groups appeared. Eyes evolved. For the first time. Shells, armor, teeth. For the first time. Predator-prey relationships began. Life entered an arms race. Strange creatures. Anomalocaris, 2 meters long, the apex predator of the Cambrian seas, trilobites, distant cousins of insects hallucigenia. Even its name tells how strange it was. And Picaia, the ancestor of vertebrates. Your ancestor. Why now? Scientists still debate. Did oxygen levels finally become sufficient? Did Hox genes evolve? Or did an environmental change trigger it? Maybe all of them. But one thing is certain. This explosion laid the foundation of the modern world. Plants come first, 470 million years ago. For billions of years, life existed in the water. Land was a dead desert. But 470 million years ago, bold pioneers stepped onto land. The first plants, bryophytes, mosses and liverworts, small, simple, but revolutionary. They created soil, they changed the atmosphere, and they paved the way for others. Animals follow. 430 million years ago, scorpions arrived. The first land animals, then insects. Giant dragonflies with wingspans up to 70 centimeters. And then vertebrates. The first vertebrates, 385 million years ago. Tiktaalik, halfway between a fish and a frog. Its fins were turning into legs. It learned to walk in shallow waters. And then it moved onto land. The first tetrapod. Four-limbed animals. Amphibians were born. The ancestors of dinosaurs. The ancestors of birds. Your ancestors. Reptiles rise 320 million years ago. Amphibians were tied to water. They laid their eggs in water. But then an innovation arrived. The amniotic egg, a hard shell filled with fluid, independent of water. Reptiles were born. The Great Dying, 252 million years ago. But first, catastrophe, the Permian-Triassic mass extinction. The Great Dying, 96% of all species vanished. The greatest disaster the Earth has ever seen. But life is resilient. The age of dinosaurs begins 230 million years ago. Among the survivors, the first dinosaurs. Small, agile, bipedal. But for 165 million years, they would rule the world. Tyrannosaurus rex, 12 meters long, 9 tons Brachiosaurus, towering up to 25 meters Velociraptors, intelligent hunters, the Jurassic and the Cretaceous, were the age of dinosaurs. But at the same time, small furry creatures were hiding in the shadows. The first mammals, mouse-sized, nocturnal. They were waiting for their time. 10 kilometers in diameter. It struck Mexico. Impact power. 1 billion Hiroshima bombs. Tsunamis, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and then darkness. Ash and dust filled the atmosphere. Sunlight was blocked. Photosynthesis stopped. The food chain collapsed. Dinosaurs went extinct. 75% of species disappeared. But mammals, small mammals survived. They hid underground. They needed little food. And when the dinosaurs were gone, an empty world remained, full of opportunities. Mammals underwent radiation. They diversified. They grew. They adapted. Primates evolved. And 66 million years later, the evolution of primates 65 million years ago. Small mammals living in trees. Large eyes, grasping ability, stereoscopic vision. Primates evolved. Hominids 7 million years ago. In Africa, forests retreated. Savannas spread. Some primates came down from the trees. They learned to walk upright. Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalensis. And finally, Homo sapiens, 300,000 years ago. You, us, modern humans. We were born in Africa. 70,000 years ago, we spread across the world. We made tools. We mastered fire. We developed language. We created art. And now, we stand at the end of a 4 billion year journey. From atoms born of stardust, to a species that can think, dream, and question the universe. The end of the journey, 4 billion years. From a single cell to 8.7 million species. From fish that left the oceans to humans who set foot on the moon. Life is unstoppable. It resisted extinctions. It adapted to catastrophes. And today, this planet is full of life. From forests to oceans. From the poles to the deserts. Life is everywhere. And you are the final link in that long journey. Your ancestors were trilobites, dinosaurs, mouse-sized mammals, tree-dwelling primates, and now you're here, thinking, learning, trying to understand the universe. Evolution has not stopped, it is still ongoing. What will the future bring? We do not know. But one thing is certain, life will find a way. It always does. Subscribe to Chronos Memory for more documentaries exploring the cosmos, the evolution of life, ancient civilizations, and the forces that shaped our world.